Hey, what's going on, everyone? As always, just a quick heads up of which match we'll be watching in yet another tournament game here. This will be the semifinal match between Meow 7 and Tutu. Best of three here in the series. And again, whoever wins this series will end up playing Hans, INVD offender, in the finals. So should be a very fun series to watch. Hope you guys enjoy and stay tuned for more action here. All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video here. We've got the second of the semifinal games. This one is between Meow 7 and Tutu, who's going by Random Obliterator here. We are playing on the Farmstead map. Tutu won coin toss, so he did choose Soviets. He's going to be over here, pushing from this side. And Meow 7 did choose Germany, pushing from this side, going from the northwest. Looking at doctrines real quick. Looks like we have, which one is this? Looks like Meow went with the support doctrine, which has a T-34-88 and the Nashorn. Very cool. And Tutu, what's he got? Tutu ended up going with, looks like a Lend-Lease doctrine? No, the offensive doctrine. Is this the guards? Could be guards, but it is one of the offensive ones. So we apologize if I'm not on par with which one this is. I unfortunately didn't make it to late war, so I've only played a handful here. So we will see how this gets going. So this will be a best of three in the semifinals, and whoever wins this set will end up going to the finals, which will be a best of five. So very exciting. We've got two very good players in this tournament going up against each other. As you can see, Tutu's pushed out very heavily, and he is getting a lot of his guys up on these walls to prevent Meow from taking it. Meow went heavy in the center, and then a couple guys out onto the northeast point. Tutu is also contesting. Looks like Tutu pushed up quite a few guys here as well. Looks like probably his lowest tier infantry that he can get. Meow's holding mid. He's got plenty of rifle grenadiers out. Looks like two already, and he does have a reinforcement squad, as we can see coming up on the mini map, going out to the southwest. But so far, Tutu has a decent position, and holding this hill is arguably going to be fairly challenging for Meow to retake, possibly. So we'll see how that plays out. They're both smoking out heavily. Meow's got a better position in the center at the very least to start here. But as we can see, Tutu has pushed out very far. And he is already getting some of these guys spraying on Meow as he's rushing up with these Marine Grenadiers. So looks like he's going to go heavily for probably the southwest side. So we'll see if he can get back here. He did pull up a MG-34 as well that's coming into the middle. And Tutu brought in a BA-10 armored car, which is going for HE. A little desync there. So he's going to try to take out some of this infantry that's starting to dig in the center from Meow. But we'll see what Meow can kind of do here. KD-wise so far, they're pretty even. Pretty even. But this BA-10 is going to quickly rack up kills, especially if Meow has nothing to really counter it. But he is making his push into the B point with a couple guys. Tutu does have a couple guys laying around still in ambush. And he does have a reinforcement Black Inf squad coming up. We'll see if the cap weight kind of counteracts what Meow has here. And we'll see what Meow does with this Lafayette and where he goes. We can see this BA-10 is absolutely obliterating anywhere that Meow can kind of hide his guys. I think Meow knows that, so he's kind of repositioning the Lafayette to a better position. He does have a couple more guys coming into this point to try to counteract the cap here. And he is successfully able to do that. Lafayette is set up, and it's actually set up in an okay position. He needs to reposition this, I think, a little bit better. So this is a really good tactic here. Putting it inside of a foxhole up on this hill because it gets a really nice range right where Tutu's infantry is going to be coming in to the point. But yeah, he knows. So he is repositioning it now. So now it's really dug in here. So as you can see, it's got a perfect line of sight going that way and into the point. But Meow has held on to his infantry, and Tutu's just been kind of spamming it, which we've seen through a lot of these matches. The Soviets can kind of really out-spam the Germans in terms of infantry. Tutu did pull in his first DP buy, which is going to be the Su-57. It's going to be T-48, so it's a U.S. Lend-Lease half-track. So we'll see how this thing does. Meow's going heavy. He actually pulls in a Panzer III-M. And the Grill Alf's M. So he went heavy Vix, so he was saving up for the Panzer III. So he's going to use that to try to counteract the BA-10 probably, and then the Grill's going to be for his infantry counter. I am assuming that Tutu with his guys up in the church could maybe see those coming up. But so far Meow is still barely able to kind of hang on here. We'll see how these two Vics do. Grill's going to town. Panzer III is going for the BA. Tutu does have it in a decent position. Meow does have to be a little careful here because of that Su-57. He's going to get a flank shot, and it does, but it does bounce. Let's hit the track. Pens turret. Meow's going in. 2 bounces. Bounces again. Again bouncing. Meow hasn't been able to get a shot off yet, though. He might be just out of range. Now he's going to push down the hill a little bit, which is not the best, because he's now going to have to reverse up and expose himself. And in the meantime, Tutu has been able to fully clear this point now. So he is starting to cap that. Meow doesn't have any infantry out on the field other than what he's bought. Although he did just pull in a new squad. And as we look away, Panzer III does go down. So, there goes the counter for the BA-10. And pulling it down the hill was definitely what did it for him. Because then reversing up just exposed himself. He's going to try to bring over the Grill to try to get the BA, which he does do. Looks like Tutu is rushing up a guy just under the hill, so he'll be protected there. The BA-10 does go down. They do trade light Vix, but arguably the Panzer III was probably a little bit more expensive and a little worse of a trade-off. As we can see, Tutu did go for a Dishka, which he's going to bring in now. Looks like Meow is just completely ignoring that northeastern church point. And he is solely going for the B point and the center here. Still holding the center very effectively. And he is using a rifle grenadier to actually go for the Dishka stand. And he is making his push now. Tutu does have a couple guys here with grenades that are ready. But Meow is going to be able to get these guys in here and effectively decap once again. Although Tutu is going to flip the center now. Looks like Meow is moving over the Grill slightly here. And his infantry up on this hill are pretty effectively wiping out Tutu's infantry coming in. Although they are getting shredded by that Dishka stand, which he is now trying to counter. He does. Stand goes down completely. Tutu's trying to react with the SCU. And he's also moving some infantry up further into that center point. Although Meow does have infantry, had infantry there, and the MG-34 Lafayette. And now it looks like he is going to start making a push this way. So we'll see what this push can do. I don't know if he knows about the Dishka truck. So we'll see if he can effectively make a push here. Although he is busy microing on this side at the moment. With the Panzer Shrek as well. I don't know where this is going. Probably a little too far up. As we can see on the far side, the infantry is making its push. And he does move the grill around. I believe he's trying to get an angle on the Dishka truck. Ooh. 2-2 with a phenomenal grenade here. Getting 3 of the guys. Yeah, does enough to decap, so he does put it to a 1-0 lead in his favor. 2-2 is capping center. Looks like the grill was reloading, so it's now going to start making a push. Although he does have to be very careful with this, especially as 2-2 does see him and he is pulling back. And it looks like 2-2 is direct controlling the SU. Looks like he's coming for him. And this guy is probably giving him line of sight. And we can see, based on the mini-map here, that 2-2 on the other side in the blue is just able to spam so much more infantry than Meow is. Which is kind of the Soviet way. There's a ton of guys go down to a couple grenades from that guy right on the other side of the building. Meow is able to get the C point. He's still holding on to the B point. But 2-2 is sending up a reinforcement squad to that B point, and he's also brought in a T-60. So that is his second doctrine buy early here. From Tier 1. So very heavy Tier 1 spam so far from 2-2. We'll see what he does in Tier 2 and Tier 3 if we make it there. Because depending on what he buys in Tier 2, he may not have enough for his Tier 3, which we're considering he'd go for the IS-2 7th Guards, 1945, because that would be a big buy. It looks like Meow is attempting to get back into the center. He's smoking out up on this hill. 2-2 is making his push here, and he's actually bringing in some assault sappers, so these guys are going to have very heavy cap weight. And Meow does realize, so he is trying to bring over the grill. He has to be very careful. But he is going to get a couple shots in. Doesn't look like it's going to do much. 2-2 is reacting. And Meow was trying to get this Panzer Shrek up here, but looks like he is about to go down to a nade. He does. It was just slightly behind there. This might be desynced. It is desynced. That might also be in a different position, based on where it's just fired, or is firing. The T-60 is going to town. It does decrew the Lafayette. And 2-2's pretty much wiped out everyone on that north side by the church. And he's able to get a nice position there. And he is also reinforcing the center. Meow's pushing up on the B point, which is a good call. You don't want to sit back, although this side does have these walls that do give some cover. Although that T-60 is just going to start shredding, because he can shoot right down the wall pretty much, as we're seeing here. He's not really able to do much with his grill right now, but he is bringing it over, it looks like, to this flank. He might even be trying to go for the T-60. Yeah, we'll look at the KD in a second here as we get slightly closer to Tier 2. He does have the grill on hold fire. Yeah, looks like he's definitely going for the T-60. He does get it. So it was desynced slightly. He does track it. The gun is still up, but he's a little nervous. He probably sees the SU coming. 2-2 is manning it now. He's shooting. Something desynced. Ooh, he hits it. The gun does go down. Crew stun. Actually, decrewed. Uh-oh. Not good. He needs to try to get this guy in there. Or throw some smokes. I'm assuming Meow is likely waiting for tier 2 to try to get a good counter to this. Which he will have with that T-3488. Ah, and right as he gets there, it does go down. So very unfortunate. So KD-wise, 59.96. 2-2 vehicle-wise for 2-2. Meow's definitely got the kills right now, but he is really at a loss for positioning on this map, I'd say. And in terms of VIX. He does have a squad out on the left just holding, and he does go for the T-3488. Such a cool add-on. I think there was only like one or... I think it was only one of these that were captured in one of the cauldrons. I forget which one. Kaliningrad area, I believe. So we'll see how that thing performs as it immediately wipes out the Su-57. I think it has 210 range, I think. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Love that. So immediately that flips that. He is repairing the grill, so he needs to get that thing up, and he can play for time here now. 2-2 for his counter. Did pull up a T-3485 M1943. Yeah, he's going to be outranged by the 88. But he might be able to do something. Yeah, he is making just a straight up push right up down the middle. And he does finish off the T-60 there. Looks like he's also trying to go for the Dishka. Oh, but 2-2 is going for him, as we can see there. He's desynced. And he's bringing an officer up. This is a misclick. 100% a misclick. I don't know where he's going with that. He might be lagging, and that officer is following their command. So he's got to be very careful that he doesn't lose this officer. He does realize. It's likely still desynced. That's a very bad misplay, I would think. He's also got tank crew. He's got all these guys here. He's not moving. He should be getting them up here. But the T-34s are going at each other. He is tracked. And turret broken. Loader killed. So 2-2 is going to be able to take that out now. Engine down. So that's very unfortunate. Turret broken, gunner killed. There's no more crew left in this thing, other than the guy repairing it. 2-2 is backing off. Probably because he sees the Shrek guy running up here. But he does have some guys on this backside still holding. And Meow does have a big cluster right here. One grenade will take all of them out. And he's playing very passive with his infantry, just kind of holding them. And neither player is really purchasing anything right now. They both have cap space. Meow needs to get this T-34's gun back up. He also needs to get this drill repaired. But 2-2 does finish him off. And Meow does call GG for game 1. So that will finish it for this one. Meow had the kill advantage, but the VIX just did not line up for him in this one. So we'll see what we can do, what each player can do when we do switch sides here shortly. Stay tuned.